Well, despite the judge,
So that was the trigger for the decision.
But despite the judge's decision, obviously the damage has been done. I mean, there were foundations that pulled money as well from ACORN, and in recent weeks, apparently, ACORN has been forced to go through a reorganization. Could you talk about that reorganization and what it means for the ability of ACORN to continue to do its work?
Yes, I'll answer that. Let me answer your question first. What is the significance of this decision? The significance of this decision, it once again exonerates ACORN from any wrongdoing by an official agency or by an independent study. Prior to this decision, there was a thing called the Scott Harshberger report. This was an independent study done by the former Attorney General of Massachusetts, who went around and interviewed every office. By the way, I did the same thing. I interviewed the officers to find out what happened when they appeared, when those right-wing activists appeared at the ACORN offices, and they were getting this advice from ACORN staff about how to avoid the law, and there was stuff about underage prostitution. The Harshberger report came to two conclusions. One, ACORN did nothing wrong. And two, the tapes were misleading, highly edited, and did not portray what really happened there. The second time that happened was when the Congressional Research Service did the same kind of analysis, did a research into what happened. They came to the same conclusion. ACORN did nothing wrong. The tapes were misleading and edited. Recently, the DA, Joe Hines, did an investigation. So he's been investigating ACORN since September to find out what happened when these right-wing activists came in dressed up as the fake pimp and prostitute came into ACORN offices. He also came to the same conclusion. ACORN did nothing wrong, and the tapes were misleading and highly edited and were unreliable. So now we have the judge, again, exonerating ACORN from any wrongdoing, saying that Congress passed this act, but there was nothing in the record that showed that they did anything wrong. They have never been convicted of a crime, and Congress can't pass a law singling out one individual and then punishing them. Congress can't be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. So your question is, what's
the reorganization that has occurred, the damage that's already been done to the organization, and how effective will it continue to be with this new reorganization?
Well, you're absolutely right. The videotapes that people saw, and I'm talking about foundation executives, when they saw those videotapes, the highly edited, doctored videotapes, and they saw ACORN giving advice to this pimp, they thought, well, either ACORN is they're stupid and they don't realize that this is a cartoonish character, or here they are giving advice to criminals, known criminals. We can't fund this group anymore. Then when Congress, some said that, when Congress then defunded them, that put the imprimatur on ACORN being an evil organization, and their funding unraveled at that point. So they have been effectively forced to reorganize and rebrand. So what they're doing now, each state organization with its own grassroots board members are deciding what to do, how to stay affiliated with ACORN, if not, when to disaffiliate, how to disaffiliate. And the important thing is this, that these new state organizations, New York has already gone through this reorganization. I forgot the name of it, but they have a new organization in New York. There's a new organization in California. There's a new organization in New England. The important thing is that they follow the strengths of ACORN's tactics and strategies, but become more transparent, more democratic, and avoid the mistakes that ACORN made in the past. And so they're all going through their own individual reorganizations, trying to figure out how to keep the strengths of ACORN.
Which are?
Which are having a dues-paying membership organization. Don't forget, ACORN, at one point, early on, 80% of its funding came from its membership dues, up to $120 a year from working poor. People say you can't get money you can't charge dues to poor people organizations. ACORN has proved that you can if you deliver, and you have to win victories for them. So you got to have that. It's got to remain cross-class. ACORN's members are poor, welfare, working poor, middle class, teachers, runs the full gamut. It's cross-racial. It's mostly African-American, Hispanic, but it does have white members. That's very, very important. And that you're able to effectively organize at this point at the local level as well as the state level. But you have to have real members, and you have to produce results and use some of the key elements of the Alinsky organizing, which is combining a variety of tactics, including direct action, in-your-face marching, all that, but also using electoral politics, which always distinguished ACORN from the rest of the community organizing networks. So they've always been involved in voter registration and elections. So you got to keep that stuff. Be accountable to people. Yeah. So that's.
Well, John Atlas, I want to thank you for being with us, founder of the National Housing Institute. His forthcoming book is called Seeds of Change: The Story of ACORN, America's most controversial anti-poverty community group. And that does it for the show. Very happy birthday to Aaron Mate. Democracy Now! Is produced by Mike Berkshire, fellow producer Mate, Angelique Comet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Masood, Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Peter Curries, Miguel Noguera, engineer. Special thanks to Becca Staley, Julie Crosby, Karen Renucci, Nick Gala, Hugh Gran. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Thanks for joining us.